For years, die-hard GM truck fans have been asking one thing loud and clear: fix the V8. And finally, it seems General Motors has heard them. The upcoming 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 isn't shaping up to be just another refresh. It looks like the beginning of a major comeback for one of America's most iconic pickup trucks. At the center of this revival is a brand new generation of small-block V8 engines, backed by nearly a $1 billion investment and a promise to solve the problems that haunted Silverado owners for over a decade. For truck buyers who still believe in the magic of a naturally aspirated V8, its sound, its durability, its effortless towing muscle, this may be the moment they've been waiting for. So what does this shift mean for GM, for the Silverado's future, and for the wider, full-size truck market, where Ford and Ram have stolen headlines in recent years? Let's take a deep dive into what's changing, why it matters, and how this could be GM's shot at redemption. Why this move matters. To understand why the 2026 Silverado 1500 is such a pivotal model, you need to look back at the last decade of GM truck ownership. While GM's trucks have always been competitive on paper, with strong towing numbers, plenty of trim levels, and muscular styling, its V8 engines became a weak link. The once proud small-block lineage was tainted by lifter collapses that led to catastrophic engine failures, overly complicated cylinder deactivation systems that promised efficiency but delivered headaches, transmission issues with the 8 and 10-speed automatics, leaving trucks feeling jerky and indecisive. These weren't just isolated complaints, they became reputation killers. Silverado owners vented on forums, YouTube reviews turned into reliability exposés, and thousands of loyal GM customers reluctantly defected to Ford or Ram. GM trucks didn't lose because they were weak, says Mark Stevens, an automotive powertrain engineer with 20 years in the industry. They lost because owners didn't trust them to start every morning without throwing a check engine light. In the truck world, confidence is everything. Now GM is making a statement: the V8 isn't dead, it's just getting reborn. GM's $888 million bet on the V8. The clearest signal came with GM's announcement of an $888 million investment into its Tonawanda engine plant in Buffalo, New York. This facility will be the birthplace of the next generation small-block V8 engines for the Silverado and other full-size GM models. Nearly $17 million in state tax credits will support the project. Over 870 jobs are secured, including 177 that were previously at risk. The plant will undergo a full modernization, not just an upgrade. This isn't a stopgap. It's a declaration that GM is doubling down on raw V8 power, while other automakers rush toward downsized turbocharged engines or hybrid-only strategies. GM could have walked away from the V8 like Toyota did with the Tundra, notes Jim Caldwell, a senior auto industry analyst. Instead, they're saying, no, we know what our buyers want, and we're going to build the best V8 yet. That's a bold and very American move. What went wrong with the old V8s? To appreciate what GM is fixing, let's break down the failures of the outgoing engines. 1. Lifter failures. The most infamous flaw was lifter collapse. The lifters, which control the valves opening and closing, were prone to sudden failure. When that happened, it wasn't just a stutter. It could lead to misfires, warning lights, or in extreme cases, full engine replacement. For a truck meant to haul and tow, that kind of failure was unacceptable. 2. Cylinder deactivation. GM introduced active fuel management, AFM, and later dynamic fuel management, DFM, to improve fuel economy by shutting off cylinders during light load conditions. On paper, it was clever. In practice, it added complexity, increased wear on lifters, created inconsistent throttle response, annoyed owners who ended up disabling it with aftermarket tuners. As one Silverado owner on a GM forum wrote, "If I wanted a truck that ran on 4 cylinders, I wouldn't have bought a V8. 3. Transmission woes. Even when the engines held together, GM's 8 and 10-speed transmissions were unrefined. They hunted for gears, they felt clunky at low speeds, they delivered jerky shifts in stop-and-go traffic. The end result? A truck that looked tough, but didn't feel smooth or trustworthy behind the wheel. What's changing for 2026? For the 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 1500, GM isn't just putting band-aids on old problems. They're redesigning from the inside out. Here's what's expected. 1. A redesigned valve train, stronger, better lubricated lifters, built to withstand towing stress, engineered for long-haul durability. 2. Smarter cylinder management, or none at all. GM may ditch AFM/DFM entirely. Some trims could come with no cylinder deactivation, appealing to traditionalists. If a new system appears, it will be simpler and more reliable. 3. Improved thermal and combustion efficiency. Advanced combustion chamber designs, better cooling strategies, higher fuel economy without sacrificing torque. 4. Seamless transmission pairing, new software calibration, smoother, more decisive shifting, a more refined driving experience at all speeds. This is less about squeezing every drop of efficiency, says Elena Vargas, a powertrain development expert. It's about restoring trust in GM's engineering. The next V8 has to feel bulletproof. Why GM is right to stick with the V8. While Ford leans into EcoBoost turbo V6s and Toyota replaced its 5.7L V8 with a twin-turbo V6 hybrid, GM's decision to stick with the V8 might just be the smartest move. The Toyota Tundra lesson. Toyota's switch to a twin-turbo hybrid hasn't been smooth. Over 100,000 recalls for turbo and oil issues. Owners complain of turbo lag and electronic glitches. Resale values have dropped. It's proof that truck buyers still want simplicity and dependability. The case for the V8. A naturally aspirated V8 still offers linear, immediate power delivery, simpler engineering with fewer failure points, better towing confidence, the unmistakable sound of a V8 under load. In the emotional world of pickup trucks, that sound matters. What this means for the 2026 Silverado. The 2026 Silverado isn't just a facelift. It's expected to be a ground-up redesign with a bolder exterior, a refined interior with cutting-edge tech, a re-engineered chassis tuned for smoother rides. Most importantly, a rock-solid V8 heart. If GM delivers a Silverado that tows without fear, shifts without hesitation, and finally wins back trust, it could recapture market share lost to Ford and Ram. This truck could be GM's hero product, says Caleb Morgan, a Detroit-based auto journalist. It's not just about power, it's about restoring pride for Chevy fans who've been burned before. Why 2026 is the right time. Timing is everything. Here's why GM must strike in 2026, not later. 1. The current Silverado is aging. Launched in 2019, it's falling behind Ford's refreshed F-150 and Ram's next-gen model. 2. Trust needs rebuilding. Many former GM buyers are now Ford or Ram owners. The longer GM waits, the harder it will be to win them back. 3. Electrification isn't ready. EV trucks are coming, but infrastructure and consumer readiness aren't there yet. A dependable V8 can carry GM through this transitional decade. The big picture, GM's comeback moment. At its core, the 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 is about more than just fixing engines. It's about rebuilding trust. For too long, GM trucks have been seen as strong on paper, but fragile in reality. With nearly $1 billion invested, a redesigned V8 lineup, and a modernized factory, GM is signaling that they've learned from the past. Truck buyers don't want gimmicks. They want power, durability, confidence, simplicity. If the 2026 Silverado delivers all four, it could become the most important truck GM has built in decades. Final thoughts. To the engineers in Tonawanda, to GM executives making the calls, and to every Silverado fan who endured lifter failures, clunky shifts, and dealer visits that never should have happened, this truck is for you. The 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 is GM's chance at redemption, a chance to remind America why Chevy trucks once ruled the roads. So stay tuned, because if GM gets this right, the Silverado won't just be back, it'll be better than ever.